Okay, let's open this meeting with Pledge Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, number 2, open public forum. Anybody not on the agenda wishing to speak? Rita? Come on up.
Come on down.
Oh yeah, come on down. That's what it was.
Ready to go? Hi, I'm Rita Hannon. I'm president of the Cold Spring Area Historical Society, and I want to thank the council for allowing us to come in now and then and speak about things that we have going on. For those that maybe do or don't know, we were able to purchase a building. We bought the Dr. Stone, Dr. Griffith's dental office on Main Street. So we'll be moving in there in the next few months. So we did a fundraiser, a raffle drawing that tickets are still available for a cash raffle, so you'll be able to win some cash. And then on Friday the 14th, we're doing a Valentine's social there at the building, kind of a sneak peek so you can see the building. We haven't started moving, much in there. We will have a display of vintage Valentine cards that go back to about 1910 from a couple of different members. Donated some really neat Valentine cards, so you can see that. And have a bit of wine and some Valentine dessert and things like that. And socialize a little bit and see the building. So, and then you can also purchase a raffle ticket yet that night. We'll be doing the drawing at about 5 p.m. that night. So once we have the building ready to go, and our museum is currently at the DEF building, we'll have about 3 times the space, so that'll be great. And then we'll have some other events there, and we do have a speaker coming up on March 6th too, so I'll come when it's a little closer to that and tell you about that speaker. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Anyone else? Otherwise, we'll move on to number 3, approval of the amended agenda. I need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion.
Gary makes a motion. How about a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Consent agenda. Recommendation to approve the consent agenda as presented. I need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion.
Jamie makes a motion. How about a second?
I'll second.
Gary seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Number 5, update on Cold Spring Brewing warehouse facility development and request for staff submission of environmental assessment worksheet. Doug Bozer, Inventure Properties LLC. Right up there. Hi.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
So, members of the council, mayor, tonight we're asking the city council to approve the environmental assessment worksheet to allow us to start working on that and bringing that forward to the city. The project itself is an expansion of a distribution center for Cold Spring Brewing, up what we call up on top of the hill. Approximately an 82-acre parcel that we're working to annex into the city. We've been working very diligently with Cold Spring Brewing and Bridget to bring this project forward. We're excited for that. We're excited for the project and what it means to the city of Cold Spring and the expansion of Cold Spring Brewing and their future here. So we're hoping that the city council looks at this and accepts our application and brings it forward. So
All right.
Open for questions.
Anybody got questions for him? Otherwise, I'm going to read a recommendation. Recommendation to authorize the city administrator to submit the EAW to the Environmental Review Board after consultation with the city engineer and city attorney to determine completeness of the submission. I need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion.
Gary makes motion. How about a second?
I'll second.
Shannon seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. That's
All right.
it?
Yep, so
All
the
that-
goal is to have it drafted and ready on February 18th, submitted to the board that day, including all the notifications. There's several agencies that have to be notified, and then it also has to be published in the Environmental Quality Board's official publication. And if we submit it on the 18th and submit the publication that day, it'll be published on the 24th, and so that's a 30-day comment period. And so the sooner that comment period starts, the quicker, and then your determination whether or not it needs to have an EIS or not will determine if annexation will go through, and then plating will go through, and all the other steps. And so this needs to be first.
This is the first step.
Yep. So there'll be several more times you see
Yeah,
Mr.
you'll see more of me, but I do want to say that we really appreciate what Bridget has done with us, and Sue as well. It's been a journey, right? And it's a timeline that's very compressed due to a lot of different factors, but we really appreciate her help, and she's been a great guidance on this. So, and we appreciate your time as well.
Good.
So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, then we'll go on to number 6. Fire Department Hiring Committee recommendation to increase total number of fire department members, ordinance number 476. Do you want to give a little back, or should
Well,
I?
you guys, why don't you talk about the determination as to why you are proposing this from Saturday, and then I'll tell you a little research I did on it.
So we interviewed 5 candidates for the 3 open positions that we had. We came to realize that we had an actual ordinance on the limit we could actually get. We felt, given that we always have 1 or 2 people retire within 12 to 18 months, that why not bring on 1 extra right now and give the fire department a little bit more latitude with how many people they can put on there. So the first step of that is to increase the ordinance that we have from 30 to 35. And in talking with the chief, we felt that between now and next year, possibly the 3rd year, we're going to want to be at 35 with the rotation that they have. So this is step 1 of that.
Yeah, in the next few years. I was looking at, about 3 to 4 years to get it up to 35. I wouldn't do it right away,
No, we'll step it, yeah.
but yeah. And obviously, we have to go through the budget to make sure that they have their budget in order with the amount of employees they'd have there, so. But yeah, we discussed it with the chief, and he was very okay with it too, so. So you got a question? Oh,
No.
I thought you had a question. Okay, I'll read a recommendation then. To approve ordinance number 476, an ordinance amending the maximum number of firefighters on the Cold Spring Fire Department. I need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jamie makes a motion, how about a second?
I'll second that.
Shannon seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Okay, number 7, Public Works Director Report, John Stevie, along with Ryan Litchin.
Good evening.
Hello.
More issues with the generator, down at wastewater. So I got on my list here, generator repair from Ziegler Cat. They're gonna install new radiator cooling parts, rebuild the water pump. There's some other miscellaneous things that go along with this. But very costly maintenance issues, so looking for approval on a $24,085.08 job.
All right, recommendation to approve repair to the wastewater plant generator by Ziegler Cat, specifically the installation of a new radiator and cooling parts, and to rebuild the water pump at a cost of $24,085.08, and furthermore, to be paid out of the wastewater budget equipment repair and upkeep line item 6313. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Gary makes a motion, how about a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds it. Any discussion on it?
So is it completely rebuilt now?
I wouldn't say completely rebuilt, but
Halfway there.
yeah, it's definitely updated.
Okay.
We had all the issues with when the power goes out, it's backfeeding the Excel system and it's not allowing us to get power.
Okay.
So it's not a good issue to have at the wastewater plant with our
Right.
low capacity, so it needs to be fixed ASAP.
Any other discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
The next item I have on here is the wastewater pickup truck. We want to retire I think it's a 95 or 96, pass that down to the Parks Department, and purchase a new wastewater truck at Schwitter Chevrolet. State bid price of $31,060.25.
Recommendation to approve the purchase of a half-ton Chevy regular cab work truck from Schwitter's Chevrolet at a price of $31,060.25, and furthermore to be paid out of wastewater budget capital equipment line item 6413. I need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jamie makes a motion. How about a second?
I'll second that.
Shannon seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
The only other thing I got, it kind of helps that a lot of the brewery staff is here, but I want to thank them for their fast response to the odor issues. Over the weekend, I think they hauled out like 120,000 gallons. It smells pretty good in town now. They have a little
Yeah, it
problems
does.
with their digester and some bugs dying off and pH balancing and things like that, but they reacted pretty fast when they got the email, and it smells
Okay.
good in town again, so
Good.
hats off to you guys.
Because there was some complaints.
That's all I got.
All right. Anybody got any questions for John? Otherwise, thank you very much. We'll go on to number 8, City Engineer Report. Brian Lynchen.
Mr. Mayor and Council, starting with County Road 158, first thing we had on the agenda is the cost share agreement. So being that the county is leading the project and it's kind of a split on costs and a whole number of things, design, inspection, those sort of things, we have a cost share agreement that was prepared by the county. Bridget and I have reviewed it, commented, we went back and forth, and so we've come to, with the county engineer, an agreement on how those costs for the project will be shared. So the one thing to note is the actual project costs for their part, our part, are estimates at this point. Obviously, we don't know the final costs until the bids come in.
Okay. Recommendation to approve the cost share agreement with Stearns County for the cost of the improvements to County Road 158 First Street South. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jamie makes a motion to approve. How about a second?
I'll second.
Gary seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
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 Against? Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Next thing on County Road 158, we're looking at getting quotes for tree clearing, separate from the main project. And just the clearing, not the grubbing. The grubbing is taking out the stump, just topping the tree. We're looking at this because of some potential, there could be a potential for environmental issues with endangered species, specifically the northern long-eared bat. So one of the ways to get around that is to cut the trees down before a certain date.
Oh,
So by cutting them down before a certain date, you don't have the potential of bats being in the tree. So we weren't 100% sure if those issues were going to kick in, but we wanted to be sure, because if they do, you're kind of stuck. You can't really take the tree down.
can't take the tree down at all.
Yeah, so this is also a joint with the county, so they'll be taking trees down on their part of the project as well. So, and because it was under a certain threshold dollar amounts, we're looking to get quotes. We've also cleared this with Sue, that we're not circumventing the bidding process, we're doing this for a specific reason.
Okay,
So that's also, I guess, a warning to those along the project that trees are going to be coming down sooner than later.
Is that all trees or just the ones that have long-eared bats in them?
Potentially
Potential,
long-eared bat.
and it could be, you don't know which ones could have the bats, so you end up taking all the trees. So for example, the state has on a lot of big projects are starting to let separate contracts. Say they're plowing a highway through a forest, they let a contract a year ahead of time to start taking the trees down so that they don't have issues with it. So you have
Okay.
to start thinking out ahead.
Okay, recommendation to approve seeking quotes for tree removal costs on County Road 158 or First Street South. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Jamie makes a motion on it. How about a second?
I'll second.
Gary seconds it. Any discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
All right, we have some, and I don't remember if I mentioned these last time, anticipated dates. We're going to begin advertising on the 18th of February next week. Bids due on March 13th, and then anticipated that the project would come back to the council for your approval on the March 24th meeting.
Okay.
So-
That's the main project, that's not the tree removal.
Yeah, that's
bit.
the main
That's
project.
That's the whole
actual-
project.
yep.
Yeah, so the main project is going out for bids here within a week or so. But we couldn't include the trees in that because it takes a while to start executing contracts and everything else. So that's more of a heads up. Then we had talked last meeting about the cost share on the portion from 14th to 17th Avenue that's within the city limits. And that this, per the county policy, the city has to share in some of that cost. And then there was a misunderstanding between county staff and city staff about that cost share. We also talked about the storm sewer being covered 100% by the county. So I had included in your packet some information about the potential to add 4 new properties included in the assessments. So adding the street and then also taking those additional costs from the county and distributing them over the whole project as we normally would. So we also looked, because we're getting to that point in the project, we look closer at the quantities and the estimate. And so ultimately what we saw is that even with taking away the storm from the city, adding some road costs back in, we're looking at, right now, the anticipated a decrease in overall assessments to individual property owners just because we've had a chance to take a little closer look at the quantities, a closer look at the prices. So those were a couple of the scenarios, the 2 scenarios that I had shown or included in the packet. One was from the feasibility report and one was including those costs from the county back in and removing the storm. So I guess first of all, did you guys have any questions on those? You know, I kind of looked at the individual assessments and in general they appear somewhere in that $1,000 range less for individual property owners, but again, that's looking at estimates at this point. You know, we wouldn't know until the very end.
I don't have any questions on it.
No, I don't have any.
It is what it is, I guess. It's kind of. I didn't like hearing it, but our assumption was way different than theirs, than the county. So, but all right, where are we at here? Okay.
Do we need to talk about?
Yeah, how we notify those 5 property owners.
Oh yeah.
We should probably, and Sue is going to give us some updates on,
Okay.
an opinion on how to do that. Since it's not been assessed, the assessment roll hasn't,
They weren't noticed on the improvement hearing.
Mm-hmm.
So I did do some research to see if we were in trouble going forward with an assessment. And originally I thought maybe under the statute we had some wiggle room, but I looked at the case law and I find that no, we don't. If we don't redo the improvement hearing, we've lost jurisdiction over these properties and we can't assess them. And we're looking at quite a chunk of money with
Right.
those added properties that we'd be missing. So it's my recommendation that we renotice, reset the improvement hearing.
For all properties or those four?
No, you would do the whole thing over. I mean, because
Okay.
it's one project. So.
Okay.
Just redo it.
Okay.
So we have to have another
Public
public
hearing.
hearing for the whole,
2 weeks posted notice and mail notice, yes.
okay.
So we can do that the. March 10th, I think we have enough time to do all that public notice.
Presentations done, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I will do that.
All right.
Is there any way to notate in it, or is this not necessary, I mean, is it not necessary that some people, like stating that some residents have already received notification of this, or?
I think in the letter that you sent to the residents, you can explain that the reason that we're doing a rehearing is because there were omitted properties.
Okay.
So it's basic, you can tell them that it's basically the same as the last public hearing, except we have to add those properties.
Right. Was there a lot of citizen response at the last one?
Oh, there was quite a few.
There was a big,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good turnout.
Yeah.
I just
Will
didn't-
you have the full roll estimated over again? Because most of the properties who were at the first one, if I'm understanding, are actually going to see a lower estimated assessment
I
than a
think we would
higher.
take into account the most recent cost estimates we have.
And then run it for the whole.
And we would, yeah, rerun it for the whole thing.
Okay, so then we
with-
can send those with them, so
Yeah.
people understand that, hopefully understand that their assessments appear to be going down, and it's
Thus
because those.
far.
Yep. One of those properties was at it, they just didn't know they had a street assessment at it, so it's really just 3 that weren't
That
noticed.
had no notice whatsoever.
Yep. Okay,
All right.
we'll do that,
All
if you
right.
would instruct me to do that.
Oh, do we have to have a
No,
motion
you
on
don't
that?
have, I suppose you could have a motion to instruct me to renotice the most.
Motion
Yeah,
for
just reset
Bridget
the public
to
Reset the improvement hearing.
make a motion for Bridget to reset the improvement hearing and send out a notice, please.
All right. Shannon makes a motion. I need a second.
I will second.
Jamie seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
And I promise my wife won't have a child this improvement hearing.
No, that was okay. I bet it'd be really quick. It'd be really quick.
That's all I had for Conrad 158, unless there were
Okay.
other questions.
They got anything?
All right, water treatment plant, we've been meeting with Public Works kind of on a monthly basis. We're getting much further in the preliminary design here, so we have another meeting set up again next week. So,
All right.
moving along with plant design.
Good.
And then wells 8 and 9, we've obtained back the quotes for the wells. Prices came in, cheaper than we had anticipated. So I had included in your packet the results from the quotation. The low quote was Trout Companies at $110,000, or $110,400. So that's to drill the 2 wells, the casings, the test pumping. We also, with this, some of the uncertainty coming up in with water needs, we also looked at increasing the size of the casing. We went, I think, from a 12 to an 18-inch casing, because if the aquifer does yield a good quantity of water, we could then use those same wells to get more volume.
Okay.
So now was our chance at a minimal increase in cost to be able to get a bigger casing and thus the potential for more capacity if it's there.
Also with the recent news from the DNR and the brewery needing more water downtown, that was another big factor.
Mm-hmm. That was good news too. Okay, I need to read that recommendation then, huh? To accept the bid from Trout Companies for the drilling of wells number 8 and 9
at a cost of $110,400. I need a motion on that.
I make a motion.
Gary makes a motion. How about a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Are we
That's all I
done?
had.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Number 9, Police Department report. Chief Bloom.
Mr. Mayor, Council, good evening. First off, looking for approval to buy 3 total computers. 2 of them would be for workstations in the office, one for the officers, one for administrative assistant data entry stuff, and then one would be a new one for the evidence tracker software, which Public Works came up and helped us do some remodeling out in the garage to house it out there and hopefully keep dust and everything else out of it. So.
Okay.
And then there's 2 separate recommendations because they're coming from 2 different line items, just so, not that, I just wanted you to read a whole bunch of
Oh,
stuff.
okay. Okay, I'll read the first one. To approve the purchase of 2 office computers from Windall Technologies at a cost of $1,900 and furthermore to be paid for out of Police Department budget equipment line item 6311. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
Shannon makes a motion on that. How about a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. And I'll go right to the next one. Huh? To approve the purchase of an evidence tracker computer and tracking hardware from Windall Technologies at a cost of $1,570 and furthermore to be paid for out of Police Department capital expenditure line item 6413. I need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion.
Gary makes a motion. How about a second?
I'll second.
Shannon seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. There you go.
Thank you. And just one thing for the difference in cost, the $1,900 for 2 versus $1,570 for 1. That's software on the computers. For the ones in the office, they're hooked up to the county system. They upload all the operating programs on there for us, where the one for the evidence tracker we have to purchase on our own. So
Oh, okay.
if anybody noticed a discrepancy there, that's where that comes from. Next, just some numbers for the month of January. We had, in Cold Spring, we had a total of 257 total incidents, 27 medicals, 11 suspicious activities, 82 traffic stops with 18 citations, and then 4 narcotics violations in those traffic stops, and 137 miscellaneous calls for service. And for the city of Richmond, we had 88 total incidents, 11 medicals, 5 suspicious activities, 20 traffic stops with 8 citations, and then 35 miscellaneous calls for service. And then one other thing I wanted to talk about is with the Save Station grant through CentraCare, we got CPR training to go with that that's open and free to the public. So we have dates set up for those, and I wanted to thank Cold Spring Brewery for hosting those at 3rd Street Brew House. One is going to be Saturday, March 28th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And the second will be April 22nd from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. We'll have it posted here at City Hall. We'll put it on our website. And on where and how to get signed up. Right now, I believe it's 25 to 30 people can attend each class. There is possibility if we fill those that we would open up more classes, but just hopefully we can get people in there to do the training. So if you know of anybody that's interested, it's a 1-hour thing. They go in and they put on a really good training seminar. So
All right.
that's all I have.
All right. Any questions for Jason?
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
You're looking at Gary and today.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, then we'll go on to number 10, City Administrator Report.
The first one there is my request to have probably 2 of you put on an ad hoc committee with me. As you know from the EAW, there's a large structure potentially coming into town. And along with the water issues for the brewery and the sewer issues with the brewery, and potential development agreement, potential business subsidy agreement. There's lots of moving parts and a lot of things that we have to come to negotiations on with them. And so I'd like some presence from the council with me while we meet with them to go through all of those various agreements and negotiations. So I'm asking for 2 of you to be appointed to an ad hoc committee. I'm thinking probably no more than 4 or 5 meetings, mostly with Scott and some Brentwood, could be in person, could be by telephone as part of that, their ownership group.
And Doug said he would be
Doug was interested. He's-
I would unless one of you would like to.
I would love to, but I'm gonna assume most of them are gonna happen
During
during
the
work
day.
Probably during the
hours.
work
That's what I was
So,
thinking too, yeah.
I'm comfortable with Gary and Doug.
I am also.
Okay. Doug and Gary. Do you want somebody just in case,
And like
if we had
a alternate.
alternate?
Like a
If you
backup
want to
or-
do, yeah, if Jamie wants to do that,
I can be an alternate, sure.
would that
Yeah,
work?
yeah, because it would be nice to always have 2 of you there.
Yeah.
So then just
And then
to
I'll put-
appoint and as an
And,
alternate.
yeah, and Jamie as an alternate. Okay, recommendation to appoint Doug and Gary and Jamie as an alternate to an ad hoc committee consisting of the city administrator, city attorney, and financial advisor to negotiate agreements with the Cold Spring Brewing Company. I need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion.
Shannon makes a motion, how about a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds it, any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Thank you very much, you guys.
Next is I sent in the packet, just for your information, a copy of the letter and the map of where Northern Natural Gas Pipeline was looking to put their pipeline. Before I saw that, I thought they were coming down County Road 2, but it appears they're coming basically across Wakefield Township. And the reason we got notice is because there's that sliver of property that we own where our water and sewer are. I'm assuming all the other Wakefield Township properties that are in their projected map got notice, but there is a meeting on February 17th, which is Monday, at 6 o'clock at the River Inn, Riverside Inn. I will probably go to that to see what they're talking about and what their timeline is. But it's open to the public, so if anyone in the public wants to go or anyone who's gotten any information on it. So you're welcome to join me. If more than 3 of you want to go, I should post it as a potential quorum. So let me know if you're interested in going.
All right.
And then, so that's that. And then, I thought I'd just tell you on Thursday, Chris and I are having a call with Moody's. Moody's was the original ratings firm that lowered the city. So hopefully we can give them as glowing a report that we did to S&P, and they can raise it too, which would be great when we go out to bond the project.
Will help a lot.
So hopefully by the next council meeting, I'll have their decision for you as well, their report.
Okay,
And that's all I have.
that's it? All right. Well, then we'll go on to number 11, list of bills and additions. Recommendation to review and accept payment of the accounts payable according to the list and supplemental list presented by city staff. I need a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jamie makes a motion, how about a second?
Second.
Gary seconds it, any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
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 Against? Motion carries. Number 12, general questions and comments from city council. Jamie, got anything?
Nothing from me, sir.
Shannon?
Not this evening.
Gary? I have nothing either. Then we'll go on to number 13, motion to adjourn. Next meeting will be February 24th. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Shannon makes a motion, how about a second?
I will second that.
Jamie seconds it, any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for showing.